So I finished drawing my outline, and so I'm going to carefully peel this away, and I'm going to make sure before I pull it away completely that my line is visible all the way around. So, you know, in case you went over too far on the tracing and went on the paper more than on the leather. So before I can't put it back where it originally was. So far, it looks good. Okay. So now, when you cut this, especially if you use like a piece of tailor's chalk or something, which is going to leave a wider line on here, you want to cut on the inside edge of your line because that's going to be the truest to your template. So I'm going to cut this out, and then we'll glue it together. And so I also went yesterday and got a different kind of glue. So it says it's for leather, so I'm going to try it out and see. So here is my cut out leather strip, and I took a little bit of the glue and put it on a piece of paper because it's really liquidy. So I'm going to use a toothpick to put it on my leather. We'll see how this works. It may be drying really fast, but we'll see. Anyway, so I'm going to make a mark on the leather where my securing tabs start, just so that I know how far to go in. So I'm just going to make a little mark there, and one right here, and another one where it ends on this side, right about there. So this just tells me how far to fold it in. So I'm going to brush out these tape marks. So just take another piece of the suede or leather and just kind of brush out the marks that the tape made. Okay, so I've still got my chalk lines on here, right there and there, and right there. Now, what you want to do is, this chalk line is meant to go, here's my first template that I tried the other day. So it's meant to center over the very middle of the bow. So just kind of eyeball it. So I'm just going to take a little drop of glue and put it kind of right here in the middle. Now fold this over to the center. Center your tab. So just to make it easy, I'm going to line my center of my bow up on this line on my cutting mat here. And I'm going to center my securing tab. Kind of push that down a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit more glue on this side. And a little bit on this side. Careful not to get my leather in that. Okay. So that is one side done. Now I'm going to center it back again. Do the same thing. I'm going to put some glue right here. Make sure I stay in the frame here. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. Alright, center it back there, and carefully, here you can line up the end of your leather here, back in frame, end of your leather here with the beginning of your securing tab line that you drew on right there. But be careful as you're laying it down so that you lay it down squarely. And you got maybe a little bit of play with this glue. And squish her down in the middle. Sorry. Put a little bit more glue. This takes 2 hours, it says, for this glue to dry, and it'll be completely strong in 24 hours. So now, alright, again, the lines are a little bit faint now, but my securing tab line is here and here. So I'm going to draw another, time for some more glue. Kind of pours out of there. There's bubbles in the bottle, so that's why I decided to pour it out on the paper. So put another little line of glue right along this line here. I like to line it against the grid lines on my mat. Alright, and you're going to want to do the same thing where you line up this edge. Remember when we folded it around? The very edge of our ring here is going to line up with this, like the end of the tab. Okay, so we're going to do that again with the leather. Roll it and fold it under, like so. Okay, and I'm lining it up with the grid line, and then I'm going to fold it over so that it's rolled under. Alright, and make sure everything's nice and lined up. I'm going to put a little extra glue on both sides of this just because I want it to be more secure. So I'm just going to kind of hold it open and run a little bit of glue in that space. And by the way, I just used regular scissors to cut this out with. They're the same scissors I use to cut paper. I don't use my good fabric scissors to cut paper with, or leather, because it'll ruin your sharp points. Alright, so squish that together a little bit, and then on this part I'm not going to put any glue up here at the top because it's not really needed, but you're going to want to make sure as you fold this over that you line it up so that it hides all these end pieces as you flip it under on the inside of your ring. So I made this one just a little bit long. Alright, sorry about that, my camera shut off. So anyway, as I was saying, when I folded this under, I made this bow wrap tab a little bit too long, but you're going to want to make sure that you cover up all the edges, your end pieces of the leather that we had wrapped around here, so that and that, and just kind of eyeball how much you want to cut off, because if you don't make it all the way over to the other side, that's fine. You can cut it off at some point inside of the ring. So I'm going to kind of eyeball it and say I need to cut off maybe 1/4 of an inch. So we'll just cut it off. And of course you don't want to cut off too much, but you can always take off more. Okay. And that's just about right. Comes almost to the other side. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this glue and I'm going to put it a little bit more on my paper. And put it on the inside of my ring. Kind of smear it a little bit. Now pull it kind of tight, but not terribly tight. And again, making sure that you've lined it up so that you're covering up your ends. And then, sorry, cut off again. So anyway, I had just put the glue on and folded it over, and I had just a little bit peeking out over here of the glue, so I just took the back end of my toothpick and wiped it off. And so it looks like it's pretty secure. I'm just going to take a little bit more, and on the front part of this little tab right here, where you can see it's kind of curling it on both sides, so I'm just going to take a little bit of glue there and put underneath the edges there. So just lift it up, stick your toothpick down in there, and squeeze it and pull the toothpick out. Alright, and that is it. That's done. So put on your ring. I'm going to put it this way so I don't peel it back, the bottom part of my band. So, alright, that is my lime green leather ring. So, anyway, I'm going to see if I can find some more colors because they're kind of fun to make. And they really only take, like, once you've got your template made, it takes maybe 5 minutes to make one of these after you've got your template made. So that's just the longest part. So if you get a template and you like it, hang on to it and you can use it over and over again. So, I hope y'all enjoyed it, and again, if y'all make one, send me a picture. Bye! Okay, so I wore my ring today at work, and I'm not sure if this leather stretches more or if I just cut it slightly too large. So I'm going to put a little piece in there to take up some of the space. I'm going to just take a little piece of the leather that I had left over from when I cut off the shape at the bottom of the rectangle of leather I had. So I'm going to cut a little strip and I'm going to fold it in half so that I get the center, and then pinch the ring to find the center here and just slide that in there. Center it up a little bit. Alright, and then I can take a little bit of glue on my toothpick and glue it in place. And just continue doing it around. So the reason I did that was so that it'll be centered in my band when it's opened up. So now all you have to do is, like we were doing earlier, just open up a space between the bands, put your toothpick in there, squeeze it and pull it out, and just continue doing that around. And then you have made the inside of your ring band smaller.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.